In Wide World of Sports Complex for another day of exciting USSSA softball action. And what a great day for softball it has been throughout the complex and throughout the day. And we have another fantastic matchup coming your way, as this time the Stingers get a chance to see if they can wrap it up with a championship victory. Of course, to do so, they'll have to knock out a team that has had a very interesting road to get to the contest. Speaking of, let's take a look and see how the teams got here. The Battlecats, talk about big battle tested, 14-11 to edge the edge, final in 7 coming out of the losers bracket. The winners bracket, of course, the Stingers, who come in as the favorite. Welcome inside, everybody. Kevin Cork and Mike LaValliere with you. Spanky, the former major leaguer, with us once again as we talk about a little softball. And I just want to say, at this time of the summer, it's always interesting because your chances of playing these outstanding tournaments where you're facing off against these teams from all over the country really become a little bit more limited. And so it adds to the excitement. And today we have a very good contest.
Well, great. These two teams are very deserved. Battlecats just no more than a half hour ago winning to get to this ball game to see if they can beat who I would say the team that is the favorite is the Stingers. They've got everything. They've got a lot of pitching. They've got great offense. They knock the fences down. This should be a great game.
Yeah, good thing he mentioned the offense, because in their earlier contest, knocking the balls right over the fence were the Stingers. And so we expect them once again to have the bats swinging. We'll see if they can knock out the opposition, the Battlecats, who had to struggle but made it here to the game today. It's Gary, Burns, Winter, Day, Guerrero, Garcia, Blakeman, Sotelo, and Williams, and the starting lineup for the Stingers Gold out of the Lone Star State of Texas. In particular, Courtney Day is the one to watch. She's got a very, and I mean very, lively bat. Meanwhile, here are your defensive starters for the Battlecats Black. Alden Dyfer, Doherty, Vampola, and Elliott manning the infield. Samples, Fisher, Larrabee outfield, Christman behind the plate, and Marina Smith will get your start for the Battlecats out of the great state of Nebraska. Marina is actually a very solid player, Mike. She's had a chance to not only star in this particular tournament, but she's one of those players that for quite some time has been one of the team's best players over at first base. By the way, she's also an outstanding basketball player. Says she wants to play for the Huskers one day. We'll see if that holds. And she gets the first pitch, swing, and a first pitch out. And that's what you like to see if you're the coach for the Battlecats.
Yeah, that's a big thing about fast pitch softball. You have a lot of actions, a lot of fast action. You got pitchers that are dominating the sport right now. And as a hitter, you go up there, look for a good pitch, try to put it in play, and utilize your speed.
So Maddie Garay is out with a ground out. That brings up McKenna Burns. Burns trying to beat it out, and she's out at first base. So quickly, 2 pitches and quickly 2 outs as the Battlecats look to be in pretty good shape. The Stingers swinging aggressively but unsuccessful on their first 2 swings, as both result in ground outs. That brings up Cameron Winter, the shortstop. Another lively bat and an outstanding arm. Keep an eye on Winter and Day for the Stingers out of the Lone Star State of Texas. First pitch, swing and a miss, although a little tip there, 0-1.
Yeah, you think, the Stingers, they are wasting no time. They're not very shy at the plate. They know that they swing the bats well, and they're going to have to do so to beat this Battlecats team.
Mike's had a lot of success coaching softball, knows it very well, and Mike, the aggressiveness did not pay off for the Stingers in the first as they go up 3 down.
Hi, I'm Francesca Nea with USSSA Florida Pride, and I choose Boomba whether I'm on or off the field because of their quality and selection. Boomba's specialty is their customers. I know anything that I need, I can get it the next day because everything is in stock. The best thing about Boomba's uniform is their breathable material that can keep you dry and comfortable throughout the entire game. I look and feel great in Boomba uniforms, which gives me the confidence to beat even the toughest opponent.
Dress like the pros. Get your officially licensed NPF apparel at Boomba.com.
Check out the wildest ride in the wilderness. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom Park has you careening through steep mountain passes and in and out of darkened caves on a runaway train that seems to have a mind of its own. So hold on to your hats as you zip around the winding track right here at the Walt Disney World Resort.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Battlecats in black. It's Doherty, Vampola, Elliott, Smith, Samples, Fisher, Christman, Aldendiefer, and Larrabee. Marina Smith, not only a great pitcher, boy, she has a mean, and I mean mean stick. We'll see just how well she can do in this contest against the Stingers Gold. Their defensive starters, Garcia, Day, Wincher, Guerrero, Sotelo, Burns, and Williams in the outfield. Torres behind the plate, and it is Garay pitching. Maddie's such a great player, so good that she actually is the leadoff for her club. And fairly often we watch a lot of softball, Mike, and you and I have watched many, many games together. You'll see sometimes the best athlete is not just the leadoff or cleanup. Sometimes they're also the pitcher.
Well, they want to get your best athletes up to the plate as many times as you can. And, softball is a lot of times is when you have two great teams, it's a matter of who makes the mistake or who gets their best players up there the most.
Tempo will be up, to say the least. We saw a quick 1-2-3 inning by the Stingers, and now it's the Battlecats' chance, a battle-tested Battlecats club, which had to go the extra mile to get to this contest. That one called strike on the outside corner. Peyton Doherty is up for the Battlecats.
Yeah, Madison Garay up there using a slap style of hitting. And whenever I say slap style, the girls, and it's done from the left-hand side, they start deep in the box, and they get a little bit of a running start, and they try to basically slap it past that third baseman.
We'll see if Doherty can do just that. Chopper does not get past the third baseman, but her speed gets her down there, and she's safe at first. Good piece of hitting by Peyton Doherty.
Yeah, you see Doherty, see that step that she took, and that's the difference right there. Right-handers don't have that advantage, and I like to see the girls with speed utilize that. Such a very important part of the game, the offensive game, in high school and in college.
Doherty, a great athlete. She plays shortstop for her club here, but she is also a basketball and volleyball star. Very quick on the base paths. We'll be watching her right now. Meanwhile, the 0-1 make it 0-2, quickly working to Kaylee Vampola, who is behind in the count. Maddie Garay, no-nonsense pitcher, likes to work quickly. Here comes the 0-2. That one sailing foul, and it drops. So Doherty is aboard with a very good piece of base running to beat out the throw from third. As the Battlecats, who just edged the edge to get to this contest, have a runner aboard with an 0-2 count coming now to Vampola. I'm noticing sort of a half-check swing there.
Yeah, the whole idea is, again, to utilize the speed. Defensively, the third baseman play up, the shortstop scoot over. The whole idea, again, it's about this running start. It's about putting pressure on the defense.
Here comes the 0-2. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 57 is the number on the gun, and that is very, very quick. In case you're wondering, and you haven't had a chance as we take a look at the 1-2, that one's sailing outside 2-2. 57 is pretty heady stuff, Mike.
Yeah, that's the equivalent. If a major league pitcher would be throwing that ball, it's 86 miles an hour. Now, at age 12, I know back when I was age 12, I didn't know what 86 looked like. I would have been scared to death to get in a box.
And it is a punch out on a 57-mile-an-hour pitch. Well done by Maddie Garay.
And not only did it have velocity, it had a lot of movement. It had the ball that started towards the middle of the plate, then broke on the outside corner. That's just a good quality pitch.
So Vampola is erased on the punch out. That'll bring up Mia Elliott. Elliott, the strong hitting third baseman, hitting her first turn at the plate. She also is a pitcher for her club. She hails from Des Moines, Iowa. Outstanding softball talent in Big Ten country. Says her favorite college baseball teams, softball teams, are Florida State and Alabama. 2 outstanding programs to say the least. Big chance here with a runner aboard in Doherty for Mia Elliott, the 1-1. Sailing outside, 2 balls and a strike. So Garay is behind in the count. Nice piece of catching there.
Yeah, these 12-year-olds will start developing other pitches besides the fastball. They'll mix in the changeup. A lot of times you'll have girls that throw the knuckle change as they get a little older. Sometimes they'll just have the hand open change. Then they'll throw the curveball. Some will attempt to throw the rise ball.
How about the off-speed pitch right there? And Maddie is on fire. Her second strikeout as Elliott is swinging and missing.
Well, here you take a look, and this is a little bit of curveball, but the biggest thing was the velocity was taken off of it. You see the batter right there way out in front. Most of these girls throw hard curveball, almost as hard as their fastball. There she took something off and actually used it somewhat like a changeup.
Certainly looked like that, and this time she goes back to the top of her gun, 57, as she gets the called strike on Marina Smith. Working the outside corner, this time she goes off speed, and she's ahead 0-2. Nice piece of catching by D. Torres. Destiny behind the plate for the Stingers. And another strikeout. Make it 3 strikeouts already for Maddie. No runs, no hits. Nobody left.
Hello, I'm Don DiDonatis, Chairman of the Board and CEO of USSSA. In the year 2000, we introduced fast-pitch softball to our association with the goal of becoming the nation's #1 fast-pitch organization. Today, we believe we have reached that goal. Thousands of teams throughout the nation are playing USSSA. We're also involved at the professional level with the NPF, providing all young female athletes the opportunity to dream of one day playing professionally. We invite you to dream NPF and play USSSA.
The ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida has emerged as the pinnacle of youth tournament travel, catering to the needs of the entire family. We offer a complete line of solution-oriented products and services to address the complex needs of teams on the road and the team parents who support them. To find out how to achieve vacation victory, visit ESPNWWOS.com.
Welcome back, everybody. A reminder, AAU boys basketball coming your way. 11th grade gold semifinal, D1 national championship for the 10th graders, and the Super Showcase, all coming your way July 28th right here on ESPN. Be sure to join us for that. And we're all back out here inside the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. Kevin Cork, Mike LaValliere with you. The Battlecats in pink taking on the Stingers in the black and yellow. No score early going in this contest, top of the second inning. 3 groundouts for the Stingers their first time up. And after a very nice piece of running by Doherty to get on board, 3 strikeouts erasing the Battlecats in the first inning. That'll bring up Courtney Day.
Yeah, and I tell you, Kev, Madison Garay, what a nice pitch that she's got. The Battlecats are they're going to have to make some adjustments in their offense. She's throwing that little breaking ball, and these girls right here, it's almost like they've never seen it before. Changing speeds on it, it's been very impressive.
And it's a pretty dramatic change of speeds too. I'm noticing like 42 compared to 57, 58. You're right. You can get way out in front on that one.
Yeah, these girls are pitching from 40 feet. In the big leagues, they're pitching from 60 feet. 20 feet difference, a little over 20 feet. And actually, by the time that they release the ball, they're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 34 feet away from home plate. Again, 34 feet, that ball's coming in 86 miles an hour. You got to get it started. So when you see the off speed, that's when you see some of the awkward swings.
I know I wouldn't want to step in there and face it. It would look silly. low 2-2.
I mentioned in a previous broadcast how I had the opportunity of catching Michelle Smith, one of our fine Olympic pitchers on our national team, and I had the opportunity to step in the box, and I used the pass card. I refused. I said I'm her catcher. I will not hit off of her. It's too devastating.
Smart man. Chopper out. 6-3 on the putout, and Day is erased, 1 away. That'll bring up Michaela Guerrero. Plays third base.
Now batting third baseman number 44, Michaela.
You've had a chance, you have daughters. You've had a chance to be not just around baseball, but around softball for quite some time. Tell me, what really separates the age level? I mean, we're looking at 12-year-olds right now. Does it change dramatically at this level? Say 11 to 12 to high school?
You know, a lot of it is just physics, and Mother Nature. These kids, in the course of a year can grow. They get bigger, they get stronger. Again, it's one more year of practicing of what they're doing. These young ladies, for the most part, are playing on the very good teams, the best teams, 5, 6, and sometimes 7 games a weekend. And this is every weekend during the summertime. The majority of these teams will travel all over the country. They'll play in all these various tournaments. So, these girls are developing physically. They do a fabulous job. They're very well coached. They're very fundamentally sound. They all know how to bunt. They all know how to play defense, throw the ball exactly where it needs to go when it's hit to them.
Nice off-speed pitch right there. Sometimes in Little League, Spank, they discourage a lot more than just sort of a fastball, maybe a changeup. How do you feel about that? I mean, sometimes you want them to learn about the curveball. You want them to learn about a variety of pitches. What's your take? Hard chopper the third, and quickly erased, and there are 2 away.
Well, if a pitch is thrown properly, it shouldn't be any trouble. Softball-wise, these girls practice every single day. When they're not playing, all these pitchers will throw. Most of the dads will have little buckets that they'll sit on. They'll go to the field. The girls will throw it to them every day. That release point is so very important to keep. It's much more of a touch pitch than it is for a baseball guy. A baseball guy, again, the touch is easier, but it's less stress to throw the softball on the arm. That's why you can see this.
Hard hit ball, and that is going to be the first base hit for the Stingers as Aaliyah Garcia gets aboard with a single.
Aaliyah Garcia just hits an absolute rocket. Mia Elliott over at third base guarding the line. Got the glove on it, but that ball right there is that's an absolute shot. Should we see a little altitude on that one, you might have seen the first one to challenge the fence.
Indeed, that brings up Sydney Blakeman. And in at second base safely is Garcia with an aggressive piece of base running.
You'll see softball players and teams have to rely on small ball, stealing bases. They need to get runners in scoring position because a lot of times you don't see a string of 3 and 4 hits together.
That one quickly erased at first. So the ground out by Blakeman will end the threat. No score after 1.5 in the books. Check that.
Yeah, I believe
that's foul.
Yeah.
Foul ball.
Yeah, well, even though we have 3 umpires out there, that call and the best guy that had the view of that was the home plate umpire, and he called that a foul ball.
Catcher gets to that one. Nice job there by Chrisman. We're getting a little precipitation in the area as you take a look at the camera there from center field.
Yeah, but I think that's just Disney's way of just sprinkling the infield. It was getting a little dusty. We're just going to take care of it for the young ladies.
Keep the dust down, right? Just missing on that pitch. Very nice effort there. Just missing for Smith. So 3-1 is the count. Still 2 out. Runner aboard at second is Garcia. Blakeman at the dish. Anything out of the infield here likely scores a run. High and inside. Instead, she draws a walk. So if you're scoring at home, it's the first walk issued by the Battlecats and Marina Smith. That leaves now 2 runners aboard, and it gets interesting here, Spank, because had that been a ground out by Blakeman, we'd be talking about the bottom of the second. Instead, she manages a walk, and now there's a threat with 2 on as they welcome Alana Sotelo to the plate.
The batter's boxes, and we'll take a look at them here, much longer than they are in baseball, and that's due to the fact of the slapping that you'll see in AAU, in Little League, and USSSA. Batter's box is much smaller.
Sotelo, base hit to left, runner safe at home as Garcia. Meanwhile, over at third, the throw is not in time, so it ends up being a double for Sotelo. In the process, Garcia is in, and Blakeman is over at third.
Yeah, Battlecats defense, we're almost a little bit surprised. I thought that Hallie Samples had a play at home, and the ball just came into the shortstop. That was the really kind of a long throw from Carson Fisher to the catcher, and then the heads-up base running took the extra base on the throw.
Nice job there by Sydney Blakeman and Alana Sotelo. They both advance. Now at second and third, there's a shot to right field. It falls in there. That's another run, thanks to Kirsten Williams, who gets the base hit. Kirsten Williams, base hit. Runners now at second and third, and a 2-0 score for the Stingers.
Yeah, nice short, compact stroke by the little left-hander, and they tried it in the first inning, and it worked. Kendra Sears trying again to get the runner out at first base, this time to no avail.
And again, a great piece of running there. Garcia making her way in. So time for a conversation. Damage being done with 2 outs.
Look at Battlecats, Black. They had a tough game, 8-inning ball game that they had to win in order to get in this position. And, right now you're looking at, sometimes the weather may play a factor. It's very warm out there. We're 90-plus degrees here at Wild World of Sports. They, again, played an 8-inning game. They had about 20 minutes off, and now they're here trying to play in the championship. And, there's a time where Coach may just go out there, just slow things down a little bit for the young ladies.
So Aldendiefer fires that one low. And another pitch, and that's a base hit. And the Stingers are absolutely stinging the baseball. Another pair of runs come on in, and suddenly it's blown wide open after the base hit by Destiny Torres. For 4-0 as Torres collects a double.
Yeah, we talk here at another, I tell you what, the Stingers as a whole, they've got great approaches, nice swings, compact swings. They don't try to do too much, a lot of bat speed. And we just watched the obligatory run to second base. This is one of the things you see. Absolutely fabulous bunt by Williams. And again, you look at second base, there's nobody there. So what do? Yeah, you take the open base when they give it to you. In softball, you'll see the girls always give up that base. The pitching being as dominant as they are, they always feel like they can always get that out. If they throw the ball to second base, a lot of times that runner at third base will just come in and score. The bases are only 60 feet apart, so that there's just not a whole lot of room to cover.
There's another base hit. Talk about a hit parade. Wencher gets that one, and here comes another run. Ching, cha-ching, 6-0.
And this one on a changeup. good piece of hitting. The only problem with the changeup, it was just a little bit high. If you get the ball down when you throw the changeup, it'll produce a ground ball. There, the ball was up, and ended up a great piece of hitting, line drive to left field.
So it's another base hit, and it looks like Courtney Day is stepping up at just the right time. Alden Difer would love to get out of this inning, this nightmarish 2-out frame. Another well-hit ball. That should be the 3rd out of the inning, and it is. But not before the Stingers played 6. They lead after 1.5.
It was a lifetime in the making.
4 years of over-the-top hard work, dedication, and sweat. Together we fought to the end and rose to the top.
A national championship is something that we dreamed about, but we knew it wasn't over. How can you hang them up when you're just getting started?
Now, here we are again, fighting for an NPF championship.
The hard work, dedication, and sweat starts all over again.
We've been to the top before, we'll be there again.
And when we got to the bigs and it was our show, we knew there's no other equipment that we choose.
The peak of Expedition Everest can be seen from just about everywhere around Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. It calls the brave to challenge high-altitude hairpin turns and puts you face-to-face with the snarling beast who guards the mountain, the legendary Yeti.
Don't forget, everybody, AAU basketball coming your way July 29th. D1 semifinals for the 11th graders at 8 and 10. The final coming your way at 2:30. Be sure to join us right here at ESPN's Wide World of Sports. Want to give credit where credit is due from that last frame. Giray with a double, Burns single, Wincher double, and Day flies out to end the frame. Preceding that, we saw Garcia with a base hit, Blakeman a walk, Sotelo with a double, and Williams with a base hit, all part of a 6-run top of the 2nd inning. So Alden Difer has a rough go of it. We'll see now what the Stingers can do defensively as Maddie Gray steps once in.
Yeah, we take a look at the strikeouts in the first inning by Maddie Garay, and you saw the fastball going away, then there's that breaking ball. And I tell you one thing, Battlecats right now, they have to find a way to hit that breaking ball. She's going to keep throwing it, Kev, and that's just, you got to find a way in order to stay back on that ball and try to hit it to the opposite field.
Goes with the heat once again to start things off here in the bottom of the 2nd inning there, Mike. It's Hallie Samples at the plate.
Yeah, that was oh so easy how I put that, huh? You get an 86-mile-an-hour fastball, you have 12. Now they throw in that little spinning dookie on you. Yeah, just sway back and hit it to right. Sound like all the rest of the pitching the hitting coaches.
Yeah, like, what's wrong? You can't do that?
Our armchair catcher right here, hitting coach? Good golly, Ma.
If there's anyone who could sort of make that claim, you can. How many years did you have in the majors, my friend?
I had parts of 12.
Parts of 12 Major League Baseball seasons, starring with the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, I go back to Michelle Smith, and I was asked, compare it to big league pitching. I've caught guys that have thrown 100 miles an hour. I've caught guys that have tremendous curveballs. Michelle Smith has better stuff than any of those other guys. Kevin, I had a newfound appreciation of softball whenever I saw it. She opened up my eyes. And then I've had a chance to watch my girls play all this travel ball. 10-year-olds, throwing from 35 feet, 55 miles an hour, the equivalent of a 95-plus mile-an-hour fastball. This is at age 10. I wanted to go out there and grab my girl. Said, no, you can't do that. Get out of the batter's box.
And speaking of getting out of the batter's box, it happens again as Samples goes away.
Well, here's that breaking ball. And again, it just, there's something off of it. It starts, and it's tantalizing. It starts out towards the middle of the plate and then breaks off the plate. It's slower than her fastball. And it just, these girls right now, they first time around, they haven't seen it. They haven't been able to make the adjustment. We'll see second time around, see if they can.
So that's going to bring up Carson Fisher. And don't look now, Spank, but Maddie has 4 consecutive strikeouts, and now the fly out to end the strikeout streak, still 2 away. So after giving up the single to Doherty to start things off, Vampola, Elliott, Smith, Samples, and Fisher all erased. Sydney Crispin coming up next, number 4. First at bat for the catcher. Low, 2-0.
Right now with a 6-0 lead, all Maddie wants to do is throw strikes. Rely on her stuff, rely on her defense. Right now, Battlecats, they have to chip away somehow.
And she is quickly behind in the count, 3-0. It would be the first walk issued if it goes down that way. Not conceding anything. Crispin will likely exercise patience here and watch one. And she does. Low but across for a strike.
Yeah, Destiny Torres, the catcher, let's say just didn't make that one look real good, but the whole idea is the call is made when the ball crosses home plate. That crossed at the knees.
A 3-1, chopped, and 3 unassisted for the out. So it's 6-0 after 2. We're back with more after this.
It takes a lot for your team to succeed together. With the custom whiteout from Mizuno, I get a bat that's lightweight, has a great sweet spot, and fits my style. At MizunoUSA.com, you can customize your own bat with over 1,700 different options. Pick your barrel, taper, knob, and grip. You can even add your team's logo. Mizuno designs products to help you and your team find that next level of greatness. Customize your whiteout bat today at MizunoUSA.com. Mizuno, never settle.
ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex puts the needs of traveling sports teams at the center of everything they do. They even offer an on-site team concierge planning service through the ESPN Wide World of Sports Welcome Center that specializes in helping teams and their families with theme park itineraries and last-minute dining reservations based on their competition and practice schedules. To find a full list of all the amenities designed for the convenience of our guests who compete before they celebrate, visit ESPNWWOS.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the USSSA Softball Fast Pitch World Series. Stingers gold all over the Battlecats in black. A score of 6-0. And in the second inning, Mike, it was a hit parade. 6 hits, 6 runs, and they broke it open.
Yeah, it was one after another. And again, like you said, it was an onslaught. Balls going all over the field. And the Stingers, again, a lot of these teams, they like to let's say, small ball, the other teams. Stingers right now, they just bash people.
Yeah, they look every bit up to the part to do just that. Cheyenne Leach, meanwhile, is the new pitcher for the Battlecats. Mike mentioned something important, though. Keep in mind, they had to play extra softball just to get back to this contest. And given the heat and the extra work, they may be just a bit tired. We're not sure, but right now, the Stingers, taking nothing away from them, look like they are absolutely up to the challenge in this contest, and they continue the hit parade. Base hit this time to right field by Guerrero. Much of the damage in the second, by the way, coming with 2 outs. Guerrero gets aboard safely here.
Yeah, get a fastball up and out over the plate, and a nice piece of hitting, just slapping that thing into right field. Pitches away, hit it that way.
That'll bring up Aaliyah Garcia, who started the hit parade with a single. Chopper, second, chance for 2. Instead, they'll take the out at second base, so Garcia is aboard on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Sid Blakeman, who walked her first time up. Very interesting. Keep in mind, in that top of the second inning, there were 2 outs, a single by Garcia. Blakeman nearly ground out to end the frame. Instead, the ball was just foul. She then drew a walk, and that led to a double, a single, a double, a single, a double, and 6 runs. Blakeman chops that one foul. Kevin Cork, Michael Valier with you as we continue ESPN's coverage of the USSSA World Series softball action. The 12Us, the Lone Star State of Texas, being well represented by the Stingers right now. Stingers Gold leading the Battlecats from Nebraska by a count of 6-0. Leach, that pitch is laid down perfectly by Blakeman. Great piece of hitting by Sidney to not only get aboard, but to move over the runner.
That's picture perfect. You couldn't draw that one up any better. As a left-handed hitter, you look in here, just drops it down, just kind of takes it with her towards first base. The right direction, the right speed. No chance for the Battlecats defense to get anybody out.
Nice piece of hitting there indeed by Sidney Blakeman. That brings up Alana Sotelo. Doubled her first time up, first pitch swinging, and quickly erased. That will remain 2 outs now for the Stingers, but the runners are at second and third. That'll bring up Kirsten Williams, who singled her first time up.
Yeah, they've proven that they can hit with runners in scoring position. Some teams struggle a little bit with that, and they have to rely on the bunting. They have to rely on the other teams making mistakes. But, you know, we've seen that Stingers Gold have come out, and they're just swinging the bats. They're not shy about anything. They're not worried about playing any small ball. All these girls, they rip at it.
Are you from the school of thought that first pitch swinging is a good thing, or do you prefer to sort of sit back?
Actually, I might have to disqualify myself. I had the opportunity to go in, like I said, to face one of these girls, and I refused to get in the box, Kev. But in all seriousness, you know, I like first pitch swinging. You know, these girls have such good stuff. The first one might be the best one you got. You got to be ready for it.
Chopped foul. We stay right here with Kirsten Williams. Shades of John Kruk when you were in there. I remember that All-Star game?
You know, John Kruk was fearing for his life. I was fearing for my pride. Two different things, but put it this way. Both of us were scared to death. How's that?
I'll take that as a yes. Williams staying alive, battling. That one going foul. That was funny. You remember that? That was hilarious.
Yeah, funny for all of us that weren't in John's shoes.
You're right about that. The 0-2 from Leach. Low. 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. Stingers leading 6-0. If she reaches, the pitcher, Garay, will be back up. Tough job for Cheyenne Leach to come in. Not that she doesn't want the ball, just tough to come in after your team has just been sort of handled. That should do it. 4-3 in the putout, and indeed that is the case. 6-0, 2.5 in the books. We're back with more after this.
In the nation, we can't make every annoying thing disappear, but we can eliminate deductibles. Nationwide insurance members who add Vanishing Deductible get $100 off for every year of safe driving. Join the nation where deductibles go.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
Big thrills await at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Home to the wildest elevator ride ever, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Board Phantom elevators, shoot up 13 stories, and then experience a thrilling plummet faster than gravity. Check it out right here at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida.
Welcome back, everybody. ESPN's coverage of USSSA softball continues. Stingers Gold out in front of the Battlecats Black. That is Maddie Garay, who has pitched very well. 4 Ks already, and she's retired 6 consecutive opposing batters. I'd say she's got good stuff.
Yeah, you know, she's doing with, what I would call a very well above average fastball. The gals here, 12 and under, they are touching the better ones, the middle 50s, the upper 50s in velocity. They're also mixing in, change up, and now we've seen a great curveball for her. Earlier in the day, we saw the 12As. There's a fine line between the 12A and the 12B. A lot of times the 12B will be younger girls. Yes, they're 12 and under, but there'll be a younger version of the A teams, or will be, let's say, great birthdays. There's a cutoff. And in that cutoff, you can get all these girls that are old 12s. Those are usually find the girls that play in the 12A division.
Gotcha.
In the 12B, it's all about usually the younger ones.
Chopper and an out as Alden Diaper is erased. Make it 7 consecutive putouts for Maddie Garay.
USSSA, they categorize these teams as A, B, and C. And A is the teams that are the very, very best. Teams that travel all the time. The Bs are teams that travel a little bit, win some tournaments. They're in contention. The Cs are usually your local teams that'll just, every now and then, they'll get into some tournaments. So, each and every team out there has an opportunity to play in a USSSA tournament at levels where they know that they're not going to get slaughtered. They try to mix them up and they match them up.
Which is so important, too. And by the way, when you talk about A's and B's and C's, Mike, really, we're talking about the explosion of this sport. I mean, it's like nothing we've seen, perhaps, in our lifetimes, and it's getting bigger and better every year. The 0-2 make it another strikeout as Maddie Garay continues to completely dominate right now.
It's almost to the point where it's not fair. She's throwing that breaking ball, and now you see 56-mile-an-hour fastball. And again, it just right now it's just too much for the Battlecats. The first time around, you got to expect it. You can always say, hey, what she got? How fast is it? Well, until you step in the box, you don't really know. What's fast for one may not be as fast for somebody else. How's that breaking ball? Oh, you don't want any part of that.
That's nasty.
So now you come back and you get the scouting report. Well, you can't catch up the fastball, and the breaking ball breaks too much. You can't hit it. Well, gee, thanks for that. I'll bring my bat up anyway.
Indeed. Nice pitch sailing inside, but as Spanky pointed out, remember, it's how and where it crosses the plate. This one feels inside to the batter, but it crossed the plate.
It was actually a breaking ball that started a little bit too far inside and didn't break a whole lot.
And Leach goes down swinging, and it's another strikeout and another great inning for Maddie Garay. 6-0 after 3. We're coming back with much more. This is ESPN's Wide World of Sports.
Louisville Sluggers LXT is the innovative three-piece technology that gives you a light swing weight, outstanding performance, and a fantastic feel even on off sweet spot hits.
I love the feel of this bat. It's the best bat I've ever used.
I love the balance and the light swing weight.
Visit slugger.com to find out how you can swing the all-new Louisville Slugger LXT today.
We are Louisville Slugger. We are beautifully powerful.
The ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex is a world-class, state-of-the-art facility hosting hundreds of youth amateur events like Disney-created soccer and baseball tournaments, AAU national championships, the ESPN HS games, Varsity Brands cheerleading, and the Pop Warner Super Bowl. To find out how your team can compete here, visit ESPNWWOS.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Stingers gold out in front of the Battlecats black by a score of 6-0 as we look forward to the top of the fourth inning. Coach Ron Vampola joining us from the Battlecats. And, Coach, listen, you had that crazy game right before this one. I'm just wondering how much that might have taken out of you given the conditions. It's warm out there. You had an emotional victory. Is that fair to say?
I think that's very fair to say. We spent a lot of energy in that game, and it took a lot of fight out of us, but we're not done yet. We're going to come back here and see if we can't scratch us 1 or 2 runs.
Coach Ron, speaking of scratching a few runs, Maddie Garay, the other pitcher, I mean, how do you go about that? She looks like great fastball, nice breaking ball.
Oh, man, that's nasty. The changeup is nasty after as hard as she throws. It's going to be tough. Probably the best pitcher that we have faced all year. Great pitcher.
Coach Ron, thank you very much for spending time with us. We wish you continued success, and thanks for joining us here on ESPN.
Thank you so much.
Joining us from Big Ten country of Nebraska. It's still weird to say that. It used to be Big 8, then Big 12. Now it's Big Ten country over there in Lincoln, Nebraska. Coach Van Pola joining us. The Battlecats behind in this one, thanks to the efforts of that young woman, Maddie Garay, who is pitching an absolute gem for the Stingers out of the Lone Star State of Texas. 6-0 is our score as we begin play here in the top of the fourth inning, as the Battlecats continue to change things up on the mound to try to slow down this Stingers attack. Mia Elliott now the new pitcher for the Battlecats. First offering low to the opposition's pitcher. Timeout.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of what happened there.
Now pitching for the Battlecats, number 55, Mia Elliott.
Little conversation. Meanwhile, as we take a look at the road to the finals, we see the Stingers coming out of the winner's bracket. So if they win and they can hang on to a 6-0 lead, they would claim the title. If the Battlecats can, if you'll pardon me for saying battle back, and manage a victory here, the action continues. It could be a very, very tough climb for Mia Elliott and company. Chopper, third, 5-3 on the putout, 1 away.
Now, Kevin, as a youth playing in double elimination tournaments, I always liked having that, that little cushion of being able to lose. Not that you ever want to lose a game, but lose and go home, or lose and, hey, I'll take a chance and play this other team again. It's always a little bit easier for the, again, the Stingers and their road to the Ultimate Championship.
Absolutely, and they look very relaxed right now in the catbird seat, leading 6-0. That brings up McKenna Burns, 1 for 2. Single has scored a run. She ground out her first time up. Base hit her last trip to the plate. Chopper just past the pitcher, going to try to leg this one out, can't quite get there, and quickly there are 2 away for Mia Elliott and the Battlecats. So Elliott is the third pitcher that we've seen for the Nebraska Battlecats, and she has quickly erased the first 2 batters she faced. That brings up Cameron Wincher, 1 for 2 today. And as Mike points out, again, very aggressive swinging posture by the Stingers, taking every chance at that first pitch. That one chopped foul, 0-1.
Many times you'll see coaches make changes in their pitchers just to change velocity. Try to throw the other team off balance. Now you're seeing the Stingers maybe a little bit ahead of the pitches. That one was pulled foul. Some balls maybe instead of the sweet part of the bat are now ending up on the end part of the bat. Again, you got to try something. You just can't let the girls just keep giving up hits.
Well said after Alden Difer had a tough go of it. And a nice piece of hitting once again by Cameron Wincher, her second base hit of the afternoon.
You take a look, and I tell you what, that's just picture perfect. There's a whole bunch of guys in the big leagues that would like to have that. The hands going in front, the knob being pulled to the ball, the eyes on the ball as it's hitting the bat. Good follow through. That's just crazy good mechanics. And I always felt softball, got to have crazy good mechanics because it's so difficult.
Good hip movement, getting it right out there. Oh, that was a nice piece of defense by the Battlecats, who wrap up the frame with the fly out there. Well done by Hallie Samples. 6-0 is our score. Much more to come. Don't go away.
USSSA is the largest multi-sport athletic association in the world. Headquartered in beautiful Osceola County, Florida, USSSA has now grown to 3.7 million members, competing in 14 sanctioned sports. From fast-pitch softball, basketball, taekwondo, and golf to being one of the largest youth baseball programs in the country, USSSA has a sport for you. Log on to USSSA.com to find out how you can take part.
Play the best and play USSSA.
Ride like a rock star at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Buckle up and hit 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds on Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. You will take off in a convertible stretch limo through the streets of LA, through loops, corkscrews, and more to get you to the concert on time. This exciting ride in the dark will leave you cheering for an encore.
Welcome back, everybody. Stingers gold out in front of the Battlecats black by a score of 6-0 as we look forward to the bottom of the fourth inning, joined by Coach Les Wincher of the Stingers out of the Lone Star State of Texas. Coach, how do you like the action so far?
Hey, so far it's doing great. Girls are looking good. The bats have come alive, and we're hoping to capitalize on a little bit more runs.
Coach, Madison Garay on the mound. Fastball, breaking ball, changeup, quite an asset. Talk a little bit about her development.
Madison, she's been a great addition to the team. She's been with us for about a year now, and she's come a long ways. Fastball, breaking, slow curveball. We've played a lot of softball, and I've only found one kid out of Austin, Texas that can hit that slow curve. So if anybody here hits it today, it would shock me. Would they go down in the books?
Coach, one thing, would you like to face her?
The girls go against her every so often in practice, and I tell you what, we would not want to face her. She's tough.
Coach, can't thank you enough. Appreciate you spending time with us here on ESPN. Continued success.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Coach Les Wincher. His club looking mighty good thanks to that young woman, Maddie Garay. 6 strikeouts and continues to dominate in a 6-0 score. She did give up a hit, actually, in this contest. Peyton Doherty first up, and she reached on a base hit with a lot of speed. After that, Vampola, Elliott, Smith, Samples, Fisher, Crispin, Altendeifer, Larrabee, Leach, all erased. That brings up Kendra Sears. Sears, her first chance to face the 57-mile-an-hour fastball or that 42-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. She goes to the heat at 55, off of the zone just a bit, 1-0.
Yeah, right now, it really, this game is going to be determined. If Maddie Garay continues the way she is, it's pretty much this is a done deal. If she should falter somehow, some way, something tells me the Stingers have somebody in reserve that's going to be able to save this ball game. But right now, this is tough.
And another nice pitch too there, Mike. It continues. She's now ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What I like, obviously, the physical part of it, the speed. But what she's doing is she's placing that fastball outside, inside, using the breaking ball. This is phenomenal to watch.
And setup pitch right here. You see she goes nice, and then it's a strikeout pitch. She goes back to the speed and works that outside, right?
No, that's the whole thing. Is a lot of it is illusion, making it look like a strike. What she ended up doing is throwing a little straighter ball on the outside corner. The next one, she curved just a little bit, started looking like the same pitch, and ended up out of the zone.
So the only person that has been able to figure out Maddie Garay is at the plate, Peyton Doherty, who used her speed to slap a single, beating out the throw from third. That's the only hit so far for the Battlecats. We'll see if she can repeat the feat. Low, 1-1. Nice piece of framing. Nothing doing, though.
You look at, obviously, we're praising the pitcher. Of course, now I've got to praise my catcher. Destiny Torres back there. Behind every good pitcher, there's a good catcher.
Yes.
But it's so very important. With that kind of velocity, you still got to have somebody to keep it in front of you. If you don't, then the effectiveness is pretty much over.
The 2-1. Chopper trying to leg it out again. She just may make it, and how about that? Maybe that's the strategy there, Mike. Just get Doherty up and have her leg out those infield singles.
The young lady, the big smile on her face, obviously with 2 hits, and again, the slap attack works great. She bounces it down. Shortstop Cameron Winchard doesn't have much of a chance. Charged it, did everything she could do. Even if she catches that ball fairly, I don't believe that she's going to be able to throw out the speedy Doherty.
You know, he told us before the contest, did the coaching staff of the Battlecats, that Doherty was without a doubt the fastest player on the bases. And indeed, she has proven to be just that, as she has now reached twice for her club. And just as I say that, she comes up with a stolen base.
Thoughts are, in games when you're down a bunch, don't steal bases. Try to go station to station. You can't do that against a pitcher like this. The chances are of getting 3 and 4 hits together are very slim. Let's go ahead and steal a base, hope for a base hit or maybe an error, score 1. We'd love to score 6, obviously, but you got to get that first one, break the ice.
Perfectly said. Sometimes the young players, Mike and I have talked about this, they'll feel the weight of the deficit, and they're looking for a sort of a 6-run home run. Doesn't exist. You have to just be very patient and pick your way back into the contest, but it's tough when you have another strikeout like that one.
Well, I think the coach said, you know, tough, not fair. I don't know how many superlatives or adjectives, nasty. This is, in baseball, we call it filthy. I just, right now, it isn't fair. This is a lady against young girls.
And she's got good defense behind her. A rocket is hauled in by Aaliyah Garcia.
There are a few things I know about softball. You have to work hard, be tough, and understand it's about the team. There's nothing like winning, any type of winning. The at-bat, the game, the championship. This is our goal. It's what we wake up every morning thinking about. And we know to be legit, you have to swing it. I use words. I use words. Be legit.
Disney soccer tournaments sponsored by AS Roma provide athletes of all ages the opportunity to compete against athletes from across the U.S. and around the world. From 3-on-3 youth tournaments to elite showcase events with hundreds of college recruiters present, the ESPN Wide World of Sports soccer program offers something for everyone. To find out how you can play here, visit DisneySoccer.com.
Welcome back, everybody. ESPN continuing coverage of the USSSA Softball Fast Pitch World Series. The Stingers gold out in front of the Battlecats black by a count of 6-0, top of the 5th inning. Kevin Cork, Mike LaValliere, Spanky with you. And we've been watching a very impressive performance by the Stingers. Meanwhile, the Battlecats, well, listen, they haven't had a lot to cheer, but at least they can cheer the fact that Peyton Doherty has a pair of base hits, and they have a pitcher out there in Mia Elliott, who is going to try to do her level best to stem the tide and keep this at a 6-0 deficit. Guerrero, the first one up here in the frame. She singled her last time up. She is 1 for 2 in the contest, part of that big hit parade. First pitch swinging once again. That one chopped foul. 60 on the gun, that one. I want to have you help me out here, Mike. That was 60 in that last pitch there by Mia Elliott.
Yeah, 60 miles per hour. My goodness gracious, that's 79.
That is...
Actually, I take that back.
That's like 90, isn't it? Like something like 90.
I was going to say 60. That would be according to, and again, I got my sheets mixed up. That's 46 feet. That's Little League. If the boys throw 60 from 46 feet, that's the equivalent.
That's a well-struck ball. And a base hit for Michaela Guerrero. Good enough for a stand-up double.
One of the things that has impressed me most about the Stingers gold, the aggressiveness in which they swing. They see the ball and they attack it. They're not looking for just putting the ball in play. They're looking to drive, and we'll take a look at the drive right there. There's a ball that's middle in, thigh high. That's a pitch that almost all hitters can hit.
And another strong swing and another base hit. This time it's Garcia. And the hits just keep on coming. She is all the way over to second base. Runners now at second and third with nobody out here at the top of the fifth inning. For Garcia, that's her second hit of the contest. 2 for 3, a single and a double. That brings up little Sydney Blakeman, who had a single her last time up. She has also reached on a walk. Base hit here could make it 8. Off-speed offering there by Elliott, low. Ball 1. And a nice job of catching there by Sydney Christman, who hauled in that ball. If that gets by her, you're looking at a 7-0 deficit. Runner at second is Garcia. Over at third is Guerrero.
You know, Kev, before we started working, okay, you didn't praise the catchers like you are now. I think you're learning from me.
I am.
You're seeing the appreciation. You're appreciating what we're seeing here. Each and every catcher, you're finding all those good points and letting everybody know about them. See, good things are happening with us.
I learned quickly. Now this is an interesting opportunity here. Blakeman sends that one down near first, but she is erased on the base paths for the first out of the frame. But in the process, the runners were unable to move up. So they remained at second and third to Guerrero and Garcia as we take another look.
Has great effort by the first baseman here. Again, keeping that ball and that plays in front of her. She catches it, and she knows if the runner starts towards home, she has that option. And what she ended up doing is looking at the runner stayed, so she just went up and tagged her. She didn't have to throw the ball to first base to get her out. So again, heads up play.
Did you have a hero, catcher hero, growing up, or were you like you're a Brooks Robinson fan, weren't you?
No, I was Carl Yastrzemski.
Yes.
Yes, of course, we know how much the Red Sox dominated whenever I was a kid. Just kidding. I had a rough childhood. They had to play that team from New York, the Yankees, and they just beat up my Sox all the time.
They did.
It was a depressing baseball childhood for me.
Of course, Spanky grew up in New England, from the Granite State of New Hampshire. 6-0. Our score. You didn't catch, though, growing up. You played other positions.
Yeah, I was a shortstop and I pitched a little bit in high school and mostly just played shortstop. I signed as a third baseman. My first year, they made me a catcher. Of course, they gave me the option. They said, Mike, we're going to make you catcher. If you don't like that, well, you can just stay home. So guess what? I went and got my catcher's glove, learned how to catch.
There you go. Smart man. So Sotelo flies out, and after a pair of base hits, we have Williams coming up to see if she can't help the Stingers collect another run.
Yeah, Mia Elliott has done a very nice job for the Battlecats. Come in and she's given up a couple hits, but a couple big outs right there. If Battlecats have any chance of coming back, she's going to need to stop them. And right now, look grim. Second, third, nobody out. Now we've got 2 outs, and that run hasn't scored.
And that could do it. Chopper to third. 5-3 on the putout. 6-0 is our score. We are through 4 1/2. Don't go away. More to come.
Hi, I'm Ashley Charters. I play for the USSSA Florida Pride. I choose Boomba cleats because they're the most comfortable shoe I've ever put on. As a triple threat hitter, Boomba's lightweight technology allows me to get down the line quicker. The great thing about Boomba is it can customize any product for you with a huge selection of color combinations. I look and feel great in Boomba cleats, which allows me to beat even the toughest opponent.
Dress like the pros. Get your officially licensed NPF apparel at Boomba.com.
Check out the wildest ride in the wilderness. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom Park has you careening through steep mountain passes and in and out of darkened caves on a runaway train that seems to have a mind of its own. So hold on to your hats as you zip around the winding track right here at the Walt Disney World Resort.
It has been a strikeout parade for Maddie Garay, and she has absolutely baffled the Battlecats.
Yeah, well, she's mixed in a good hard fastball, 56 miles an hour. The changeup has just been devastating. You see the majority of her strikeouts. Battlecats swings are way out in front. They just say they can't make the adjustment, and it seems like every time they look for the changeup, they get the fastball. Every time they look at the fastball, they get the changeup. So whoever's calling the game is doing a fabulous job.
No question about that. Likely young Destiny Torres with some help from the dugout. They look like a winning combination. Garay and Torres, 8 Ks already. And save for a couple of base hits by Peyton Doherty, the Battlecats have been no hit. Who was your favorite catcher while you were a player?
Well, as a kid growing up, I really didn't pay attention to the catching position. I was watching mostly hitters. You know, I like a lot of fans. So, I want to see home runs. I want to see a lot of good hitting.
But as a player?
Once I started getting into the catching position and watching, I think Pudge Rodriguez was, to me, was the biggest game changer. Teams would go in and they just wouldn't run. So even the teams that had running teams, you throw out one guy, two guy, and then just teams would stop. And that right there, that was a huge difference.
Now, how about that pitch? That was way out of the zone, and yet it's hard to lay off of it, isn't it?
It comes in and it looks like a strike. It's all deception. And see that ball breaks, and that was just a little bit, it almost looked like it started on the outside corner and just, by the time it ended up breaking, was at least a foot outside. And as a hitter, you're there, you're trying to protect, you're reading fastball, and if you haven't seen it before, it's tough to hit. I was 12 years old, playing in a regional Little League tournament. It's the first time I saw a curveball, okay? And I struck out 3 times. How is anybody ever going to hit this? Right then and there, I says, my career's over. If everybody throws this pitch, I got no chance.
It'll buckle you, won't it?
So I can, I can empathize, with these young ladies. Many of these girls, even though they play a lot of travel ball, won't see the quality of this pitch that they're seeing today.
We'll see if Marina Smith can solve the riddle. That is Maddie Garay. Here comes the 0-2. Goes off speed, and another nasty pitch, 42, filthy. Another strikeout.
Again, the pitch, the velocity is one thing, but what you look at the location, and here's a ball where she can't reach it. And not only is it, we're talking about depth, fastballs, changeups, the difference, 10 miles an hour. Here, there's almost 15 miles an hour. So much of a difference, and now just say she's putting it on the outside corner knee high. Hats off.
Allie Samples, strikeout victim her first time up. Interesting, we are deep into the contest, bottom 5, and they're just getting their second look at Maddie Garay because she has been so dominant, and that pitch is quickly over for an 0-2 count.
She's mixed her pitches enough to where you can't go up there and say, I'm just going to hit the fastball. They're not just getting that.
Bit of a guessing game, and there's a base hit. Although the throw might have come back in, instead, it's a good guess by Hallie Samples, and it's the first base hit by a player not named Peyton Doherty for the Battlecats.
Yeah, Hallie Samples, again, that's just, it's just good hitting. She was a little bit behind, but what she did is she got the bat head to the ball. She put it in play.
If the first baseman doesn't cover, maybe they have a throw back at the bag. Instead, it's a nice base hit for the Battlecats. So that brings up Carson Fisher, who flew out her first time up. Did you have a pitcher in your career that you just felt like you just didn't want to see because they just completely had such nasty stuff?
Well, but actually, both as a catcher and as a hitter, and both of them happen to have been knuckleballers. I end up facing Charlie Huff, the great knuckleballer with Dodgers, and then the Texas Rangers. Saw him probably 10 times in spring training. Hated every at-bat. It's a devastating pitch, and it has nothing to do with velocity. It's the unpredictability of it. It's just a horrible day. And then I caught Tim Wakefield Timmy had a great career with the Pirates and then with the Red Sox. Just catching him, a guaranteed headache at the end of the night. It just, if anybody's gone out and tried to cut a butterfly, let's just say with a butterfly net, maybe the size of a toothbrush. That's what it's like to try to catch a knuckleball. You feel so silly.
Did you have a different glove that you would use if you had to catch a knuckler versus a more traditional game pitcher?
Yeah, Timmy had a knuckleball glove which was almost a size and a half bigger than a regular glove. And I remember the first time I tried to catch him, I grabbed that glove and couldn't catch anything. So I went back to my glove and I couldn't catch anything. And then I went to the first baseman's glove and I couldn't catch anything. And I figured, well, I'll go back to his glove. At least I'll look like I know what I'm doing.
Hard hit ball, 4-3 on the putout, and the threat is erased. 6-0 after 5 innings.
Hi, I'm Francesca Nea with USSSA Florida Pride, and I choose Boomba whether I'm on or off the field because of their quality and selection. Boomba's specialty is their customers. I know anything that I need, I can get it the next day because everything's in stock. The best thing about Boomba's uniform is their breathable material that can keep you dry and comfortable throughout the entire game. I look and feel great in Boomba uniforms, which gives me the confidence to beat even the toughest opponent.
Dress like the pros. Get your officially licensed NPF apparel at Boomba.com.
Go the distance with Disney and the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Florida by training or competing in one of the many track and field events hosted here annually. From Disney Track and Field Spring Training to the Walt Disney World Cross Country Classic to Disney Track and Field Showcase. Get ready for your season or get noticed by any of the numerous college recruiters in attendance. Check out DisneyTrackandField.com for more information.
And a reminder, everyone, be sure to join us for AAU basketball. The boys, the 11th grade gold semifinals, then the 10th grade D1 National Championship, and the 11th grade D1 Super Showcase National Championship. It's all coming your way. Our coverage begins at 8 a.m. on July 28th right here on ESPN. Meanwhile, we have another pitcher in for the Battlecats. This time they will see if Marina Smith can solve the riddle. We thought that she would originally have the start. Instead, it was Maddie Altendeifer who ended up getting the start. Smith, a very accomplished pitcher in her own right, coming in now for the Battlecats, trailing 6-0 here in the top of the 6th inning. Kevin Cork, Mike LaValliere with you as we continue our ESPN coverage of USSSA Fast Pitch Softball, the 12U contest. And right now, the eyes of Texas are upon the Battlecats as they trail 6-0. The Stingers from the Lone Star State looking every bit like a championship club.
Yeah, I'd like to see what Coach Ron Van Pola is doing with his team, utilizing a bunch of girls on the mound and, getting them experience against a very good swinging Stingers club.
And quickly, it's a base hit as the Stingers continue the hit parade. In fact, it's good enough for a double after a nice piece of base running.
It's just a carbon copy. All these gals, they start with their hands in great position. There's a ball that's up and out over the plate. Torres just blasts that into left center field. And, they're just strong, 1 through 10 or 11, how many they're hitting today. It's just, and again, they're great approaches. They start in great position. They have great fundamentals. It seems like they recognize the ball right out of the hand. It almost seems like every single girl has their eyes on the bat and the ball making contact. And again, good follow-throughs. Very, very well-coached team.
This is turning into a virtual highlight reel for Maddie Garay, who had that double to go along with an earlier double. So she's got a pair of hits, 8 strikeouts, a partridge, and a pair tree. 6-0. Runner aboard. No one out here at the top of the 6th. McKenna Burns, who does have a base hit. That one right back to the pitcher. Will move over the runner, so she accomplishes what she needed to, even though she is erased. 1 down. That'll bring up Cameron Wincher.
Now batting number 12, Cameron Wincher.
Wincher with a pair of base hits in this contest. Pair of singles. A hit here scores a run. Boy, I really like the way she swings that bat. She gets her hips moving very quickly, and her hands are flying through the zone.
You know, there's just the one thing that you see is athleticism. Whenever I look at this, and again, having all the pieces in the right position helps. But again, there's just a great deal of athleticism. The hands working, and ultimately the bottom hand. Hitters or hitting coaches talk bottom hand, top hand. Softball, your bottom hand better be good. You better get that knob to the ball, or else you're going to be late.
Wincher, not late, but flies out to second for the first out. Want to check that. That's the second out. Second out. Burns a race on that fielder's choice before that, so Wincher is the second out after the fly out. That'll bring up Courtney Day, who is 0-4. She would love to join the hit parade. Lined out her last time up.
I would tend to think that Courtney Day, being the cleanup hitter on this ball club, has very few times where she gets an over.
First pitch swinging. That one foul. 0-1. You know she's chomping at the bit right now.
Oh, yeah, she wants that hit. And I tell you, you look at, 0-0. I never had the, let's say, gumption. Or maybe I just wasn't good enough to even want to think about, having 0-0 on my back. that seems to me like a target.
Kind of.
And I did prefer the single number. I thought it made me look a little slimmer.
A little thinner. There's a well-struck ball. 6-3 on the putout, and that's going to do it for the frame. 5.5 in the books. 6-0 Stingers.
Hello, I'm Don DiDonatis, Chairman of the Board and CEO of USSSA. In the year 2000, we introduced fast pitch softball to our association with the goal of becoming the nation's #1 fast pitch organization. Today, we believe we have reached that goal. Thousands of teams throughout the nation are playing USSSA. We're also involved at the professional level with the NPF, providing all young female athletes the opportunity to dream of one day playing professionally. We invite you to dream NPF and play USSSA.
The peak of Expedition Everest can be seen from just about everywhere. Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. It calls the brave to challenge high-altitude hairpin turns and puts you face-to-face with the snarling beast who guards the mountain, the legendary Yeti.
Welcome back, everyone. Kevin Cork, Michael Evalu with you as ESPN's coverage of USSSA softball continues. Fast Pitch World Series. Stingers gold leading the Battlecats black by a score of 6-0. As we take a look at the road to the finals, I want to make sure that you kind of have a sense of how we got here. The Stingers coming out of the winner's bracket, they look great. The Battlecats coming out of the loser's bracket, but it's important to point out they absolutely had to go extra just to get to this contest, and even their head coach admitted that it may have taken a little steam out of this their sails.
Yeah, Battlecats coach Rian Van Poel, told us, it was an emotional game, physically draining, but the other side of it is the mental stress of going through that. You lose a lot of energy in just mental anxiety trying to get to this game, and they got to be very proud. They played the Stingers tough in the game before. They could beat 5-1. Right now, it's a different ballgame at 6-0. They would sure like to score, but on the other hand, they've had a fabulous tournament.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think we've said that a few times with this young lady on the mound. She's certainly a very bright future ahead for the young lady, providing she continues to progress.
Now, when you have two great pitches like that, how important would you say it is to work on another pitch despite the success of these two?
Well, the more that she plays, the more she's going to have to develop other pitchers. You'll see other girls that when she'll face girls as she gets into 13s and 14s, when she moves back to 43 feet, she's not going to be able to get away with it quite as much. So she's going to have the ball doing different things. She's going to have to develop some kind of screwball to go in against the right-handers in order to set up that breaking ball that goes away from them. So you really need to, again, that's part of the progression, and these girls can learn upwards of 7 different pitches. Now, whether they can throw 7 quality pitches, that remains to be seen.
Well, she certainly has at least 2 very high-quality pitches right now in her arsenal, and she continues to dominate and throw very hard. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning does Maddie Garay. So she just records another strikeout of Altendeifer. That brings up Sydney Larrabee. Larrabee 0 for 1, a victim of a strikeout. This just her 2nd at bat, and we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Chopper, and that is a base hit. So Sydney Larrabee gets aboard. That'll bring up Cheyenne Leach. Nice piece of hitting there by Larrabee.
And Sydney down at first base, all excited, give her coach the high five, and they'll be talking about that, I'm sure, on the way home, and talking about how good of a pitcher they faced in Madison Garay, and say, yeah, I got a base hit off of her. I didn't think she was that good.
Well, there's one person who can say she wasn't all that, and that's Peyton Doherty. She's got a pair of hits. She's scattered those hits, though, and really completely controlled the contest as Maddie Garay. Ahead once again in the count, 0-1. By the way, Larrabee from Omaha, Nebraska, going into 8th grade over at Bradley Middle School. She also plays select basketball for one of the major feeder teams there in the area. So a real talented young athlete. Chopper could be 4-3, and indeed it is on the putout. That advances the runner to second. So Leach is erased. Larrabee moving over. That'll bring up Kendra Sears.
Second base, now batting 0-0. Kendra Sears.
Just Sears' 2nd time up. And like Larrabee and Leach, she struck out her 1st time up. She officially started playing softball at just 5 years of age. She's from Kearney, Nebraska. Her passion for the sport continues to grow. Looking for an answer here, quickly behind 0-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning against the most dominant young pitcher we've seen for quite some time, and Maddie Garay. And that's going to do it for that young woman. Another strikeout for Sears. So the Stingers keep it going. 6-0.
Here's what I want to see, okay?
Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful day here in Central Florida. Sunny, but clouds building. Here at the ESPN Widewater Sports Complex here at the world-famous Walt Disney World Resort. Kevin Cork, Mike LaValliere with you. This is ESPN's coverage of the USSSA Softball Fast Pitch World Series, the 12B Championship. Stingers gold out of the Lone Star State of Texas, leading by a score of 6-0. Don't forget the action continues here at the complex as we take you inside the HP Fieldhouse for AAU boys basketball. That's coming your way July 29th, the 11th grade D1 semifinals and the D1 final, 8, 10, and again at 2:30. That's all coming your way right here on ESPN3. A lot happening here at the complex. USSSA softball, always a lot of fun. It brings out not just great athletes, Mike, but so many families make the trek here to Orlando to enjoy the action. And it's a real thrill when you're out there. You see them, they fill the stands. They're so enthusiastic. They really do love the sport.
everybody that I speak with that comes here, and you had the opportunity. A couple of the girls that I've worked with were here at this tournament, and I would have loved to have seen them gotten to the finals and being able to call the game. And they're just it's an exciting place to be. You know that you're going to face great competition. You're going to have the fields that are going to be in premium shape. You're going to have places to go after the games. You have no problem finding something to do. You got no problem finding something to eat. And again, this is just it's a treat. It's more than a vacation. It's more than a tournament. It's a family experience that is, everybody that I talk to. And I've had a lot of baseball kids, softball kids. Hey, Coach Mike, you going to be up at Disney? Are you calling one of our games? It's an exciting thing to have happen to a young person and their family.
And I love that you said it's exciting for the family. Listen, they will go back and they'll talk about these experiences in many cases for a lifetime as we watch another base hit as the hit parade continues for Michaela Guerrero and the Stingers. She's aboard with her third base hit of the contest.
And Michaela's short stroke, exactly what you have to have in softball. That ball looked like it was down towards the outside part of the play. And well, she did. She was patient. She waited on the ball, got the barrel of the ball, or barrel of the bat on the ball, and just smashed it into right center field.
Meanwhile, Garcia flies out to center field for the first out of the top of the seventh inning.
The Stingers really, they haven't changed their approach. Haven't been tentative. They haven't worried about working any counts. Great strategy. See it, hit it. Swing hard in case you hit it hard.
And take your chances, right? Very fine day so far for Sydney Blakeman. She drew a walk, has a base hit, has scored. Ground out, though, her last time up. Let me ask you, Mike, while we have a moment, about bat weight. Do you profess for your clubs lighter bats, or do you want them to go with a heavier bat?
Softball is, their bats are usually drop 10s. And what I mean is if they're using a 31 or a 32-inch bat, which is about the size for this age group, it'll be 22 ounces. Very limited on what you can do. Usually drop 9, drop 10. That's usually what you're going to get. So, really, it's not like baseball. In baseball, you have a number of different weights that you can use. The big thing for bats, to me, is the length. Make sure the bat is not too long. When the bat's long, it becomes bulky.
That one low.
And when I talk about bulky, it's almost like you add extra weight by the more distance, or the longer the bat is. So if one of these girls, yes, they could probably swing a 33-inch bat, even though it's 23 ounces, but now it's hard to get that barrel head out in front to make good contact.
That one high by Smith, and she's behind in the count 3-1. She's got the build to really do some things up there on the mound. I really think she's got the talent. We'll see how she continues to develop. Came in a very tough spot for her club, trailing already 6-0 as she issues the walk, and that means now 2 runners are aboard. And can't say enough about the job done by little Sid Blakeman. Very patient. She's drawn a pair of walks, and she's aboard once again, and that brings up Alana Sotelo.
Production from the bottom of the lineup. What that does, it turns that lineup over and over. It gets those number 1, 2s, and 3 hitters up a little more often. Anytime you get production from your 7, 8, 9, a lot of times you're going to score a bunch of runs.
Sotelo has a base hit in this contest, although she has ground out and flown out her last 2 times up. Again, aggressively swinging at the first offer, and that one is foul. I believe it looked like it was fair from my vantage point. And the runners are going. Could you make sense of that there, Mike? I heard what I thought was an umpire.
Well, I almost, looking at the umpires, I thought the umpire at first base was going to call the infield fly rule right there, but it didn't look like, he had his hand up. Okay, we'll take a look here. And
interference.
Yeah, I got to believe that the runner really interfered with the first baseman. Should she have gone after the ball, now you had the second baseman that went after it, and I had the umpire's hand up, and I guess he decided that it didn't warrant a call.
So runners now at second and third with 2 outs. The Stingers have been sort of stuck on this 6-0 lead. So if you erase the one big inning, it's been fairly even contest, quite frankly. Just seems like they've been dominating throughout. Chopper, tough play, and that's going to bring home a run or two. A couple of runs come on the throwing error, and you can make it 8-0 Stingers as Kirsten Williams takes full advantage.
Well, what seemed like a harmless ground ball, Carson Fisher got to it fine, threw over and just a little bit down and wide. And just right now, I think the Battlecats are, let's get out of this alive. Let's try not to give up any more runs. And you can see, just the body language of the young ladies. They've had a great tournament, but right now you can tell they're a little bit down.
Tough break for the Battlecats as the throwing error adds to the total for the Stingers, who now lead 8-0, and that brings up Maddie Garay again. Pair of doubles, has scored a run and been masterful pitching. A hit here would make it 9-0. Low 1-1. Marina is one of the team's best players. When she's not pitching, she's actually over at first base. Big fan of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Says she'd like to play for them one day. Ooh, that one bunted foul. That was close. She's done just about everything, hasn't she?
Whether she's done anything with the bat today or not, it's all about what she's done in the circle, and it's been just phenomenal to watch. This young lady, you can see she continues to pitch as well as she is. They're going to take that bat out of her hands. Softball is all about pitching dominance, and they treat those pitchers with kid gloves. They do not want to let them go to the plate and have a chance to get hurt. They're so very important to pitch. And again, she may be enjoying the last little bits of her offensive performance with what she does again on the mound.
Wow, what a day. A base hit by Garay makes it 9-0. That's her third hit of the contest.
Well, is there anything that this young lady can't do? Again, I'm not going to call them robots, but I'm going to look at the Stingers and I'm going to say they are in great position to hit even before the pitch is thrown. After that, what happens is it's just picture perfect. You see the ball, watching the ball hit the bat, and every single girl. I don't think I've seen one swing from the Stingers today where they pulled their head. It's phenomenal to watch. What great discipline.
Excellent coaching by Les Wincher and company. McKenna Burns trying to keep it going here. She does have a base hit. She has ground out and flown out her last 2 times up. 1 for 4 on the day. 9-0. Stingers leading here at the top of the 7th inning. Maddie Garay aboard at first. On deck, Cameron Winchell. And she will get a chance to bat as that chopper is into left field for Burns. So Burns picks up her second single of the contest. That'll bring up Cameron Wincher with 2 players on now. Wincher, for the record, has 2 hits and 4 at-bats. And a base hit here by Wincher, who is a coach's kid. Would likely make it 11-0. She's swinging the bat very well. Mike has talked about the fact that she has great bat head speed. She gets her hands out in front quickly. That one, though, not a lot on it, and she flies out weakly. Still, one gets across. 9-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
It was a lifetime in the making.
4 years of over-the-top hard work, dedication, and sweat. Together we fought to the end and rose to the top.
A national championship is something that we dreamed about, but we knew it wasn't over. How can you hang them up when you're just getting started?
Now, here we are again, fighting for an NPF championship.
The hard work, dedication, and sweat starts all over again.
We've been to the top before. We'll be there again.
And when we got to the bigs and it was our show, we knew there's no other equipment that we choose.
When you run Disney, every mile is magic. Marathon and half marathon races through Disney theme parks are waiting for you at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Resort in California, along with the best finisher medals around. For more information, visit rundisney.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Palm trees swaying in the breeze. 9-0. The Stingers out in front of the Battlecats. Kevin Cork, Mike LaValliere with you as we continue our coverage of the Fast Pitch World Series. USSSA softball, bottom of the 7th. Maddie Garay has been the story for the Stingers. 11 strikeouts, 77 pitches. And Mike, you and I have talked about her development. What does she need to do to get to the next level, in particular, as it gets farther away from the plate?
Well, she's going to get to high school here either next year or the year after. At that point, she's going to go back to 43 feet. That extra 3 feet does make a difference. She's throwing right now 56 miles an hour. By the time that she gets to college, she's going to be needing to throw somewhere around the middle 60s, 65 miles an hour. Again, develop the secondary pitches. Not only the curveball, but the changeup, maybe a little bit harder screwball. These are the types of things as her body grows, as she gets physically stronger, she's going to need to keep up with, again, the better hitters that she's going to see.
She's clearly been the difference in the contest. We've talked about the fact that the Stingers jumped out in front 6-0. It was sort of that way throughout the contest. The Battlecats battling to hang in there after that bad frame. But really the difference has been the dominance of Maddie Garay. She has 11 strikeouts, and she does give up a hit on occasion, but again, it's kind of like scattered. It's like a hit here, a hit there. It's like in the majors, if you have a pitcher who, say, gives up a couple of runs a contest and maybe 4 or 5 hits in the game, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, that's you're finding the ageless one, Bartolo Colon. Mm-hmm. They pitch to contact. Give up a hit, give up a here. You don't really walk anybody. Let your defense help you. You strike out a few. Those are all things that make good pitchers. And that's one of the things that Maddie Garay is going to. The other team is going to teach her what she needs to do. Mm-hmm. Now she's able to do that, and you'll see the continued domination.
Ooh. So E6 on the throw to second, and that could break up the scorelessness for the Battlecats, and indeed they are finally on the board. So you wouldn't charge that one to Garay, but it is going to be E6 as we take another look.
Well, here, they've got her out dead for rights at second base, and the ball goes into right field, actually right center field, and that's just right now. That's the offense that the Battlecats have, and deep down inside, I know we can't root for anybody. I'd like to have the Battlecats at least put a point on the board. They've gone a long road to get here, and very deserving to be in this championship game, and it's nice to see them score.
Absolutely right, and it has been a very difficult outing to say the least, and that brings up Elliott. She flew out her last time up. So aboard is Vampola, who reaches on the error by Wencher. And that results in a run to make it 9-1. Stingers have had a chance to face this Battlecats club before, dominating in this contest by a score of 9-1 here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Last time these two teams met, the Battlecats also managed to manufacture a run and also was on the short end of a decision. In that one, they were down 5-1. As we take a look at the brackets, this is the road to the finals. You see at the top of the screen there, the Stingers winning the last time these two clubs met, 5-1. They lead now 9-1 If the Battlecats are able to pull off the miracle and rally, that would knock out the Stingers for the first time in the tournament in this double elimination. Short of that, Stingers will claim the championship.
Yeah, that would be something to force the ultimate game. And I tell you one thing, if Battlecats could actually come back and tie or win this ball game, you want to talk about momentum shift.
Wow.
Yeah, that next game would just be incredible. I don't know how you could recover from that.
Well, they've already done extra duty. Boy, why not go, what did Ernie Banks say? Let's play two? Let's play two. Little conversation there.
Well, I think there was an out called. I don't know if there was a batting out of order or exactly what took place. I don't know if one of the girls couldn't come to home plate and they just called her out.
Hard struck ball should bring home the second run of the contest for the Battlecats, and indeed it does. So Marina Smith is erased on the fielder's choice, but it does score the run to make it 9-2. Look where the first baseman is on the previous out.
We took a little replay, and I didn't catch that until we got the replay. The first baseman, I don't even know if she was in the same zip code as as first base. Whenever they called her out, it's well, that was a little testy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a look again, and here's a throw to first, and
I think she was there.
You know what? We'll call that in the vicinity. Close enough to call. Maybe her toenail was on it. Kevin, put it this way: it was not obvious.
It was close, wasn't it? Swing and a miss.
Wry little smile from the hitter as she says, "Please don't throw that to me again."
This will do it for Maddie Garay. Would be fitting if she could close it with a strikeout. We say it here, it happens there. What a performance by that young woman. The Stingers completely dominant, 9-2 winners in the USSSA World Series, making the Lone Star State proud. We said just about everything you could think about saying about Maddie Garay. She completely dominated, Mike.
Well, Maddie Garay really was the story, and we saw a variety of pitches and saw the breaking ball that was huge, the changeup huge, the velocity that she had and that she showed, and it just it was impressive. Her offense gave her a bunch of runs. She knew what to do. It was a pretty game if you're a Stingers fan.
Indeed, Stingers gold. They are the champions. Garay with 3 hits and a boatload of strikeouts, a dozen last count, as her club gets the easy victory. It has been a tremendous tournament, and we appreciate you spending time with us. For the entire crew here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, and in particular my partner Mike LaValliere, I'm Kevin Cork. This is ESPN's coverage of USSSA softball. Your winner in the 12 championship. Stingers gold 9, Battlecats black 2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.